Can anybody hear me? Luke, I am your father. Can you guys hear me okay? Hear me. If you guys can hear me, let me know, please. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to let it go a few minutes, let people join. I want to show you this cool diving helmet while we're waiting. Check that sucker out right there. That's the real deal. Yes, it is, and it's heavy. All right. I'll tell you about that. Let me set it back over here. Oh, all right. How's everybody doing here? You can hear me okay? All right, so that helmet there, while I'm waiting on people to join us, I got that somebody got for me not too long ago. It came with the work of authenticity. 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to read this to you real quick. United States Department of the Navy. United States Navy diving helmet CO200 was manufactured by the Morse Diving Equipment Company for the use of special award issued to U.S. Navy divers for their heroic actions in connection with saving the lives of hundreds of men trapped in air pockets in submerged ships during and after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. 200 of these helmets were manufactured and 154 were issued as awards. This helmet has the stamp number of 200. So this was actually the last one made right here. It's got all wood parts. It's the real deal. I thought that was really cool. And as a full face mask instructor, scuba instructor, that's just another tool to study on and kind of figure out what that's all about, and use kind of a training aid for my. So that's what that's all about. Let me look here. Sure, I've got this all going. So good Saturday to everybody. Thanks for joining me. I hope everybody's doing well and got your coffee. That's delicious. Got a few things to talk about this morning that I'm excited to share with you. So stay with me. I'm gonna try to make about an hour. I got quite a few things I'm pretty excited about. And I showed you the map, and I just wanted to let you know that in the last couple weeks, finished a few things that I'm stoked about, and I'll talk about those. I'm going to talk about some sponsors and some things I've been working on behind the scenes for the future. And yeah, so I'll get started right now. So 2 weeks ago, I course down in the Las Vegas area, and it was called the Underwater Investigator course. It's Mike Berry. For those of you that don't, Mike Berry is a legend when it comes to sort of thing. He has been doing underwater criminal investigation type diving and helping with that sort of thing for about 42 years. He's actually the guy that has wrote the textbooks and the courses for Patty and his own company that he started Underwater Investigator. And really knowledgeable guy. He's actually the first sergeant of the Virginia State Police, and so he basically has figured out police work with diving, and kind of created the course. Hang on a second here. Is the sound not working right? Okay, hang on. Can you hear me now? What if I click this on? Wait, hang on a second. Sorry. If I click this on here, is better. I know it looks weird, but as long as you can hear me. Okay. Sorry. Thanks for people looking out for me. Okay. So anyway, back to the UI course. The the course was that particular course was 4 days long, and the 5th day that I was down there, we did a course called Vehicle Recalist. Excuse me, where we actually had a car we lifted a few times, and I learned techniques for recovering vehicle water. And this guy has awesome techniques to make it easy and safe for everybody involved. It was really fun, and I'm really excited to talk more about that. So anyway, let's look at my notes here. So as far as the future, after course, I now have the credit to apply for, and I'm in the process of putting together application right now to become a public safety diver instructor. For those of you that don't know, public diving is a lot of the people that are on search and rescue teams, law enforcement, diving agencies, basically a lot of drowning victims. You're going out and you're using search patterns to find drowning victims, safe them, bag them under body. Could be a vehicle. A lot of times this could be criminals that could be potentially hidden underwater. That could be as simple as a cell phone. You know, be surprised how many times getting a particular cell phone that had information on it that was underwater was enough to put a criminal behind bars. So it could be as small as a cell phone or even smaller. The picture, the thumbnail on this live was taken during that course, and I'll tell the story behind here in a few minutes. That was pretty. So let's see, where should I here? First of all, I want to do is I want to thank a few recent sponsors that have reached out to me, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff if it weren't for the help of the community and some amazing people out there sponsoring me. Recently, I've had a boat donated to me to turn into a search, rescue, and recovery vessel. And when I say rescue, that could be, let's say there's a flood in an area where they need people to go in and try to rescue. It could be people or pets from a rooftop or a tree, who knows. So I'm turning it into something like that. I want to thank Del Barber Excavation for that generous donation. That's awesome. And I'm doing a video as I'm building that boat. I'm filming that, and I'll have that hopefully completed in the next month or so, and I'll put that on my channel. I also would like to thank Ryan Barber Excavation for donating the OTS full face mask that I use with my OTS full face Spectrum. It's a mask, and I really appreciate the help there. I've also got a recent sponsor that has reached out to me that I want to talk about real quick, and they are called Olight. And so what this is, and if you guys stay tuned in some of my upcoming videos, I will do a product review of these, but I wanted to talk about them. These are a brand of flashlights. You can see here, Olight, and are bulletproof. You can see there. I mean, it's a flashlight. These can be used. You know, put them in your vehicle for an emergency. This one's got a clip on it that works in 2 different ways that you can clip up things, and it lasts for hours. What's cool about all these particular lights that they have sent me to try out, and basically, you know, send me your product, and I'll try it out, and I'll be more than happy to plug you guys in my videos and talk about it. This Atom 3 Max And the way charge, it's a USB charger right here, and it's a magnet, and it just attaches there. So it's really cool. It's easy. You have to find a plug-in. It's easy to charge, and they last for hours. In fact, my other one that I use a lot that I'll show you right here, this one too, and it actually doubles as a headlamp. It's the same charging method. Magnets back right there in the strap, so you can use it as a headlamp, and you can adjust it up or down, however whether you're going caving, you're using work on your vehicle, whatever you're using it for. Use it for electrical work. A lot of times, as an electrician, you don't have lights because you're still installing them, so you got to have some sort of light. And what's cool about this also is this is just an attachment that you can undo that, and it comes out, and it too has it's a 90-degree flashlight. You can see it right there, and it has a little clip which you can attach it to things two ways, this side or this side here. They're really cool, and it's made out of metal. It's not plastic. I mean, these things are bulletproof. And I charged this thing a few weeks ago, and I've been using it for work, and it hasn't even got dim. I mean, they last for a long time. Really cool. And they also have a safety light that they gave me, and I'll talk more about this stuff in future videos. And the other cool thing is they got the O pen. You can see this right here. It's a bolt action pen. But what's cool about this, I don't know, it's hard to tell size-wise, but it's small and compact. See, it's not much longer than your finger. What I like about this is it's a handy pen, taking notes. In my case, let's a scene where I want to take notes, because looking for a weapon that's actually been thrown into a river, and I want to take notes of what I'm seeing. This will actually fit in my pocket. It's not big, it's compact, and it'll almost fit in your wallet. It's really cool. Ballpoint pen, bolt action. So anyway, Olight. Check them out online. After this video, I'll put the link in the description to their. They've got several of them, and I really enjoy them. Olight and Rebecca for reaching out to me, and I'm more than happy to help promote your product. I love it. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Look, I'm just checking in on my comments here real quick. Yes, and when you're drawing maps, you're drawing out a crime scene, you may have to map that out. So now that we've talked about that, I'm going to talk more about the underwater criminal investigation course that I just completed. As I said, Mike Legend. Here's this book that he wrote. If you're into this sort of thing, all you crimers out there, you can order this book on Amazon. It's called The Water's Edge. Super amazing book. Sister got me this for Christmas, and I picked it up, and I couldn't set it back down. It was so fascinating to me, all the stuff that he talks about in this book. It's amazing. It goes over. Well, I'll just open it up and kind of the stuff that this book is also what we learned in class. So about mission readiness, establish a crime scene photography and sketching, chemical contents and polluted waters, starting the dive operation, communications, medical aspects, search patterns, locating and recovering evidence, metal and non-metal evidence preservation, packaging and submitting evidence, fingerprints, body movement in water, body recovery and handling, vehicle recovery and light salvage, special search procedures and courtroom testimony, and a whole lot more. And what was really cool about that course is Mike's got 42 years of experience, and he showed us dozens of slides with stories attached to them that would just blow your mind, and behind each story had a learning point to it. And it was really cool. It was really fun. And there was 10 of us total in that class. I was the only basically freelance person. The rest of these people were part of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the Lake Mead National Parks Service, some park rangers, and then there was a lot of volunteers from their local search and rescue team there. Now, dives, most of them were done at Lake Mead. I don't know how much you guys pay attention to the news, but Lake Mead is actually the news several times in the last several months due to the drought that they have down there. The water levels have gotten severely low, and a lot of human remains have started to surface. One being a that was in a barrel, and then as of recently, a couple of the members of this class I was in were the ones that recovered remains of the guy they identified that I think went missing around in 1974. So it was really cool to hear the stories from locals as far as Lake Mead. Actually, our training dives were right along Boulder Beach, which is right there where all this was happening, where all these remains have turned up. So it's kind of interesting to do our underwater navigation training dives at Lake Mead during this drought time. It was really fun. Day one was all and a lot of lecture, went over a lot of stuff. Then the next 4 days in the water along with lecture. So we did some really cool, amazing trick stuff. Learning some new search patterns. Arc searches, communicating with a tender using rope pulls. A lot of advanced teams nowadays use communication. A lot of times those are hit and miss if they work. As those of you know that have worked with me, they don't always work. And so rope pulls or hands in the case of a two-man jack stage, where you and your partner have a grip on a line and you squeeze your partner's thumb to do certain signals. It was really cool to learn that kind of stuff. And so we trained. We did search patterns. We did locating missing drowning victim underwater. We learned how to bag a drowning victim underwater and recover evidence, preserve them without trying to destroy any evidence, because there's been cases where fingerprints will last at least 30 days underwater. So when people try to say that, oh, it's been in water, the fingerprints are gone, that's not necessarily the case. They have proof that they can last there for at least 30 days. So that was interesting to know some of these facts. Then on the third day of in the water training, which was our final day, it was really cool. We let the instructor, Mike, got the locals that were part of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police to pick a location in the area that they think could possibly contain evidence. And so what we did out there, and they picked these man-made lakes that are in the Vegas area in a community that had kind of an apartment complex that was down the. Let's just say it was kind of slightly poverty level of people, low income type people. So they're like, well, this could be in a neighborhood that could possibly have some evidence. So we went out there, we planned our dives, and we figured out how we were going to search these jack stay lines. And we went out, did one-man searches, and basically is you have one hand on a search line, and the other hand is going through the back and forth like this. I mean, you're just going very slowly, and you have to go 4 to 6 inches of silt. And the second you get into that silt, it silts you. You basically have no visibility. In fact, it can sometimes be easier to close your eyes in that case, because your sense of feel now becomes heightened. And so now you're searching an area for anything. You don't know what, just looking for anything man-made. You're going off of feel. Now this is cold, where most of the time when I dive, it's in. So I have big, thick, dry gloves on. So feel something, you're like, what's that? Oh, okay, that's a soap. You throw that away. You're searching that. Oh, it's another piece of plastic. What's that? Searching along. Boom. What's that? Boy, that feels weird. Pull it up out of the silt. Boy, that's interesting. I see it looks like a sock tied up with some small items in it. What could this be? It's probably just some rocks. Somebody, I better mark this as do the right thing. So I sock tied in a knot. I pulled out and I marked it, because when you piece of evidence like that, you want to make sure to map before you remove it. So in case it turns out to be some sort of evidence, they've got a map drawn of the location of how deep it was and where it was located. So I marked it. I came to the surface. I yelled to the shore. I found a sock. It's tied in a knot. It's probably nothing, but it's got some small items in it. Mike says, oh, we want that. Yep, let's get that marked. So they shot azimuths, drew it out, and we once they were done, they said, okay, you can go ahead and recover it. So I went back down, recovered it, and brought it back over. And when I got close to the shoreline, Mike was standing on a dock. He's actually the one that took that picture. That's the thumbnail. And this is the same picture right here. You can see me right there coming to dock, holding it up for the picture. So I handed it to him. He doesn't have gloves on, and he feels it, and he's like, oh yeah. So what it turned out being was sock full of bullets. And I know it's hard to see. Be right there. There's the sock untouched to about 33 auto rounds. So when I went back in, I found another piece of bolt from a weapon. You can see it right there. And that looks like a cut piece from a semi-automatic weapon. And so we don't know exactly what that is, but the police drew where I found that, and they stuff, and they were gonna check to see if it with any sort of crimes that were committed with a 380 auto. So that was really cool to go out and just methods we had just learned to actually find evidence in a neighborhood in the middle of Las Vegas. So it was really cool stuff. And then I also got, while I was there standing on the dock, I got a picture of me next to the legendary Mike Berry. Again, the guy that created the underwater criminal investigation course, and he's the guy that's wrote the PADI safety diver course. And he started the underwater criminal investigators course or business, which is this, back in 1987. There's a PADI when we graduated. I'll show you real quick my diplomas. So there, right there, the official diploma of underwater criminal investigator course. And then the last day, vehicle specialist. That was a really fun course. I got a few pictures of that. I'll show you real quick. This is the vehicle that the police department has down there that they actually use to train this. And you can see some lift bags standing next to it. You can see Mike Berry standing next to it, and he's going over the procedures and lift bags and that sort of stuff and how we're going to do that. And then I also got another picture here of us. You can kind of see the top of the vehicle being hooked up. We're coming back to the boat ramp. Now, where this training was done was in the Colorado River, about 14 river miles below the Hoover Dam on the Arizona side. The water was super clear, and one of the girls that was part of that course, Kristen, she actually filmed some of that, and I'll try to get some of that put together in a little bit of a video, because that was kind of, the fact that you could see was really cool. So you can see what we're doing and some of the techniques we were using to lift these things out of the water. Some other random pictures I'll show you just because I printed them out. Show you that has to do with this course. Here's Mike. We're standing on the edge of Lake Mead right here where we did the training dives, and he's talking about the jet search pattern. That's what those two buoys, the rope, and the mushroom anchors are for. And that's a search pattern that you use. That's the same pattern we were using when I found that sock bullets. And then here's a picture I took just standing, same basically to show that we're doing training with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and that's their dive team's trailer in the background, and that's one of their vehicles. And then here's our entire class right after we graduated, and we are back at the hangar, the pad, and what you can't see there, I should have. There's a bunch of helicopters. That's a really that they got that they use their to store their helicopters, and that's sort of really cool. So anyway, that takes care of that. So really excited about some really good training, and now that I have the credentials, I'm sending in my application to become a public safety diver instructor. So I'm slowly acquiring the equipment So not only will I to teach the have all the equipment, so in case schools in the area need help with my services, I can offer that. I have sophisticated sonar that was donated to me by my parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad. That was awesome. And so I'm in the process of also coming up with a name, and I'm getting close for my non-profit search team that I will use for this thing. And if you want to help out, as far as donations or whatever, go to my the description has my link tree. It also has all my news for donations. But in not too distant future, I'll actually have a nonprofit that will. So if you want to use it for a business tax write-off, I'll have that all my ducks in a row for that. So I'm just trying to finalize that, and I have a few names picked out, but I'm also open to suggestions. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to share them with me, and we'll pick something out here in the not too distant future. So with that being said, I also would like to talk about, if you haven't seen already, you can jump over to Doug Bishop's channel. He has recently launched a new nonprofit called the United Search Corps. It's pretty awesome. I was really stoked to see that he's also continuing to move forward with what we have learned to do in the past, and our relationship working together will probably continue to do some adventures in the future. I could see that happening. Support him as much as possible. So at a website and everything, but you can jump over channel. He yesterday a video that talks about his search group thing that he started there. You Search Corps, check that out. And super proud of Doug on that, and I can't wait to see where that goes. So check that out. Really stoked about that. So some of the people wanted to talk about specific that I have worked on in the past, and I don't really want to talk about specific cases. However, I can share some stuff that I learned recently through this class that I've taken and my research to answer some people's questions. And let's talk about vehicles in the water, because that's really what I've specialized in. Here you've got a vehicle, your car, a Suburban S. It doesn't matter what it is. There've been studies done on this, and you can go off of just past experience. Is it common if somebody drives into the water, whether it be on purpose or accident, to find them in the back of the vehicle? Yes, it is common. It's not totally out of the ordinary. What happens is vehicle's coming along and it goes in. It'll stay buoyant for. We watched videos in class, did studies, and he dumped videos, both some with windows up, some with the windows down, and we timed it to see how long it would be. Vehicle finally went underwater. What we found was, surprisingly enough, even with the windows down, which was the fastest scenario, you're talking almost 3 minutes. With the windows up, it was like 3.5 to almost 4 minutes. So what happens is it comes in, and there's air trapped in it in all kinds of places, not just inside the cab. You've got hoses, you've got tires, you've got a lot of things creating buoyancy there. So what happens is the front is the heaviest part of the vehicle because it's got the motor. So it most of the time always goes nose first into the water. And this part, the water level might be up to here as it's slowly filling up with water. Water's coming in the vents. And let's just say 2 scenarios. One, when the occupant hits the water, for some reason they're going fast and it knocks them unconscious. And let's say they're not seat belted in for whatever reason. That water and that air pocket is going to pull them because it's to the back of the vehicle. Cool. You see how that would work? If the occupant is conscious, a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, every time they're gonna be in a panic. This is not a normal scenario that you're trained for. Be trapped in a vehicle that's sinking water. Excuse me. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna fight to find that air pocket, and they're gonna follow it all the way to the back. What happens is a vehicle fills with water, and it's gonna come down, hit, and a lot of times the momentum of it plus the buoyancy of the tires sit upside down, and it'll land like, okay. Now in shallow water, where we're talking maybe 12 feet or less, they come and hit and not have enough buoyancy. When it finally sinks all the way, it will land on all fours. That's why sometimes you'll find them upright, and sometimes you'll find them upside down. But that's kind of the two areas of what you're finding there. Now, people will say, well, can't you get out of the vehicle if you're still calm? You can. There's a couple ways. One, you're going to have a hard time. It may be nearly impossible to open the door of the vehicle because of the water pressure pushing in on it. You're not going to be able to do that. So your best bet at that point is to roll down the windows and escape. And some people will say, well, you're in water, my windows are electric. How am I going to do that? Well, they did some studies back in the 70s. I can't remember exactly when. About it in this book. We talked about it in that most schools, and this was back then, so I'm sure tech is even improved, but back then, had about 10 minutes of electricity. Your lights, your power windows, all that sort of stuff would work for about 10 minutes. So you've got some working time there. It takes the vehicle 3.5 minutes, let's say, to finally get fully submerged. Now you've got an extra, 6-7 minutes of electricity that you could roll that window down and escape. Could you use a window breaker? Yes, you could if you could find it and you happen to have it on you. But the main thing to remember is to try to remain calm. And I'm getting messages that my audio is echoing. I don't know how to improve that. So is it echoing so bad that you can't tell what I'm saying? Can somebody answer me that? We can understand you. Okay. I'll maybe try to go lower and quieter if that helps. So anyway, I touch on that. There's a couple scenarios there for escape a vehicle if it goes into the water. Now, hopefully you never have to experience that, because that would be obviously an accident. There's people that have taken their own life that way, and obviously those people might just be seatbelted in and not even move. But nonetheless, I just wanted to touch on that because I've gotten a lot of questions of why are certain people in the back of the vehicle when you find them, the windows are down. Could be a number of reasons for that. Does it look suspicious? It can, yes. Is it totally out of the ordinary? No. I wanted to make sure to clear that up. Anybody who wanted to hear about that. Let's see what else we talk about. Recovering vehicles. One thing I did learn is that when you find a vehicle or any sort of evidence underwater, you want to preserve the evidence as best you can, like fingerprints, whatever. So if the vehicle upside down, what you do is lift it to the surface, lift bags, get it over to the shore where you can slowly turn that on its side to get right side up before you pull it up. And if there happens to be a down or windows down, you want to take some mesh bags, bungee cord them over those windows to contain any, so that as you're turning the vehicle, you don't dump any potential evidence of the vehicle into the body of water it comes out of, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so now I get it. Statistically, most public safety divers that are working for law enforcement teams around the country and possibly the world are no more than an open water certified diver. And they happen to be a diver and they happen to be work for a police department. So they'll make them a public safety diver. Every jurisdiction's different. Every jurisdiction has different financial allocations to go towards different things. So they may not have, number one, the right equipment, number two, the correct training, and number three, experience. Recovering a vehicle from underwater, as far as a local law enforcement agency, might not be something that happens very often. So what I say to those places is reach out to people that you can for the proper training. You should be practicing this stuff annually. Vehicle recovery, getting all your dive team members public safety diver certified at least to them. You should have a certain percentage of your teams get UCI trained at a minimum. It goes up from there. The next class that I'm going to take is called the Master Underwater Criminal Investigator course. Then there's one above that that's Dive Commander. So there's constantly continuing ed, and there's people willing to look around the country and these courses. And so I recommend for places that I've with multiple law enforcement agencies in the past, really kind of botched the recovery effort. And I believe looking back on it now, it's from lack of training, lack of resources, and not enough practice. Once you get trained, like Mike told us, his team back in Virginia, he wrote it in their SOPs, or that's standard operating procedure, operating guidelines. He makes it mandatory that his dive team for training three days a month. Okay, so, and what law enforcement agent wouldn't want to get paid practice their diving and recovery skills for 3 days out of the month instead of sitting on the side of the radar gun writing tickets? I mean, it's a no-brainer. So to those law enforcement agencies, all I got to say is please reach out for the proper training. I will soon have my own equipment and my certification to come to your location, offer that training. So, and think of me or anybody if you're in your area, do some more training. You don't embarrass yourself, and you can look more professional when you're doing a recovery, especially when the news media is involved and this blows up on national news. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to read some of your comments here. Sorry, I'm focused on what I'm talking about, and I don't really have time to read these, but now that I'm kind of on the downward slope of this live, I will read some of these. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask. If I can answer them, I absolutely will. Thank you. Okay, where is UCI based out of? So Mike is based out of Virginia. He is the one of the state troopers there, Virginia State Police Department. Now, he used to have a UCI college that was based in Georgia. I can't remember what town, somewhere in Georgia. But there's been some. I think he said somebody bought that they were using for this, and now he's in the process to get it regrouped and planning on putting it up in Virginia. So the colleges is another thing where you go to that location and they're close to their body of water. They've got a vehicle that they can practice with, and so that's another option once he gets that up and running. And as soon as I hear more on that from Mike, I will definitely pass that on to people. Thank you, true crime and face. We are sticking to what we know how to do. Somebody's asking, do you think Kylie's death was accident or foul play? Now I'll tell you what it is it's unexplained. And what I mean by that is if is ruled an accident, then the investigative slash authority jurisdictions need to come forward and say, here's what we believe, therefore we think it's an accident, and they would give an explanation as to why they think that. If it's foul, they would say that the thing, but they would say we think it's foul play, and we have evidence to back that. Right now, as far as I know, unless something's changed behind my back, we have not heard an explanation. There's no explanation. So until you explain it, is in my opinion called an unexplained death. So that's all I got from there. I don't evidence to go. I know what I saw, but I have no evidence to go any other way other than explained, because nobody's explained it to me. Once I found her and had to get out of the water, I have no say in what they do after that. What's your question you're trying to get through, Elizabeth? Nick, I'm trying to get my question through, but everyone keeps talking. Will Carson and Josh be going along with you or Doug? They are great at their videography. That I haven't even thought that far ahead yet, to be honest with you. I got to get up and running before I think about video cameras and such. Yes, I do still think it looks suspicious. Sweet helmet. Are you going to work with Doug? I came in late to this broadcast, so I didn't hear yet. Doug and I have separate entities going. Could there potentially be some us doing similar things together? Absolutely, but we have both been behind the scenes to get our own thing up. Still stay in contact, so we'll see what happens. No pressure. Can you question the authorities for update? I suppose I could. Whether they respond to me or not is another question. I do have an email. I'll send an email. One question. I don't know if I'm find vehicles in the neutral position on it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a couple things that we learned class as far as vehicles underwater. Most of the vehicles underwater that are boat ramps are insurance fraud, and the number one clue to it being insurance fraud is a single key in the ignition. Now, once you wouldn't think about that, but once you hear it, you're like, oh, I see, because of it, who's basically underwater, no pun intended. They need the rest of their keys, so stick the key in, put it in neutral, send it off the boat ramp. So, yes, finding it in neutral, or finding or something on the floorboard, or something that they could have used to put on the gas pedals, are all clues. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see what else. Sam, what's up, brother? Thanks for helping out this morning. I appreciate it. What? Shoes, socks, and pants. I only saw the lower part. So, yes, squirrels on fire. I would agree with that. Yes. Okay, so thanks everybody. Let's see what else. So today, for the rest of the day, once I'm done here, I'm actually going back out to continue working on my boat. I'm hoping to have that thing up and running for rapid deployment ready in case of an emergency in the next, I would say, 4 weeks. So let's hope so. I've been very busy. I'm working behind the scenes, and also trying to put this together. Again, if you're interested in possibly being a sponsor, want your business logo stick on my boat, you can reach out to me directly in my NicGyver description of my. If you go in there, it has my email. You can find me on Instagram. You can also reach out that way. You can send messages. I try to read all my comments in my videos and live chats after they're done. So bear with me if I give your comment a like, or if I comment to it, then yes, that means I read it. I don't just like a comment, actually read it. So if you see me thumbs up or like, that means I comment and I appreciate you doing so. You want the recipe for the chili? I do have some plans for some more cooking shows that are kind of humorous, but I had to put those on the back burner to get my this other stuff up and going. So when I get some time for fun, I'll do some more fun videos. Oh, speaking of fun videos for the future, let's talk about that for a minute. It's been like four or five since I've posted any videos. I've got a few in the queue. Just been busy. That's why I figured I'd do a lot easier to kind of touch base with everybody and what's been going on behind the scenes. I'm going to continue to do my scuba dive themed travel vlogs. Got a trip to Southern Oregon next weekend to be diving off of my pontoon boat, and I'm taking a one unified diver. I'm not going to spoil it for you, and a couple of that you might have seen on some of my videos. I'm diving off my boat, and we'll make a video. Then I'm going to be going up to Washington, the Hood Canal area next month, beginning of May, for a cleanup project, and I'll make a video there. I've got some stuff. I can't remember what's going on in the meantime. There's some other smaller trips locally planned, but next year, my most excited one I'm looking forward to is going to Egypt for a week-long liveaboard trip in the Red Sea and 4 days in Cairo on the Nile River, where we will be touring the pyramids, the Sphinx, the museums, all that stuff. So I'll make a epic video there. I can't wait to film all that and share that whole experience with you. I've been to Egypt once. It was in 1995 when I was still in the Army. I went there for Operation Bright Star to help train with the Egyptians, the British, the United Emirates, what was it? France. I can't even remember. Pull out my paperwork. But anyway, the only time I got was when I was in the military, so I didn't get a ton of time to some fun stuff. So, yeah, you'll weekend we'll be diving off the pontoon boat, which I also certified outfitter guide, state of Oregon, so I can teach classes off a pontoon boat. That's a 22-foot sun tracker, and it's pretty sweet for diving off of. And then my newest boat that was donated to me is specific to more of a skew and recovery boat. You can dive off it, but it's more faster and specific for sonar and UCI type stuff. So I'm looking forward to that stuff. Nick, I need an invite on this pontoon boat. Josh, you know the deal there. That's next weekend. So anyway, millions of people, 273 people. I don't even know where it says how many right now, but boat and continue training. Good luck in all your adventures that are coming. D, appreciate it. You True Crime and Faith. Yeah, and then also some stuff in the future that if you want me to come on your channel and help you out and talk about some stuff and any questions you may have, the field of searching for things underwater, whether it be missing people, vehicles, criminal evidence. I don't know the latest. I know it kind of fell off. I know a lot of true crime people were talking about it several weeks ago, but the did they ever find the murder weapon that Brian Koberger used up there in Idaho? Last I heard, it was still missing, and I heard that there was that they have his cell phone traced somewhere close to the Snake River. That would be. I'd like to get a hold of the Idaho police and see if they have some underwater criminal investigators working on that case, because there's a potential there. You got to think about it. Water is a really quick and easy way to ditch criminal evidence, because you can just drive by and out the window it goes. So I'm curious as to what's the latest on that case. Let's see. I would love to know why. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons why. Probably the same reasons. This is for Liv. The same you think so. Number one explanation. So all we have of the information that was there when she was found, and so if somebody can clarify that, then that'd be awesome. You think you threw it in the Snake River off the PCA? Very possible. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, instructing is my passion. That's why I this level. I like teaching, but when you can teach people how to do underwater searching and viz and cold water, I mean, that's my passion. Like, I like going up to warm water, small wets, looking at fish. That's cool and all. But what's really fun is when you have a mission and that you're trying to accomplish. It's almost like it's like a treasure hunt. It's like an addiction. Once you find something that people are looking for that nobody else can find, it's I gotta tell you, an addiction. So you want to continue to get it and learn more and teach people how. So that's kind of why I'm going in the that I'm going, and I'm really stoked about it. Thank you for appreciate it, Sarah. I'll get a hold of you. Absolutely. I didn't notice that, Roscoe. That's something somebody brought to my attention afterwards. I was kind of in a quick state there. I was underwater for 4 minutes. Confirmed it was the vehicle. Cool. Then inside, my job's done. I was out. It's always 2020. I wished I would have gone through this training that I just went. Prior to that, I found a better assessment. Unfortunately, I learned from my mistakes. That's why part of the reason I took this course is learning from my mistakes in the past to improve, so things like this don't happen with me ever again in the future. Okay, thank you. Scroll the link up and have a panel. Sure. Thank you, man. Thanks for everybody's support. Again, I appreciate it. And the only reason that I'm able to continue to do what I'm passionate about is because of you guys. So please spread the word. If you know people in your area that are part of a local dive team, ask them when the last time they did some training. Ask them how many have actually, what their highest level of certification is. Tell them, hey, I know somebody that's going to be willing to travel around and help train. You can reach out to this person. Tell them about me. Spread my channel. I'm going to continue to try to grow it. I'm going to count out any potential sponsors, because I think that's great. And this is an awesome community that YouTube has created for just the average everyday Joe to take passion and run with it and get people behind him or her. So please, thank you for everybody that's already stayed with me for this long. And even though it may be several weeks between videos, just know that I am working on stuff, and I will do so. I will continue to up as new information comes in. We'll continue to make videos. That's another one I'm passionate about. Now that I've learned some new skills, some training videos. So if there's some certified public safety divers that are part of a team out there, and it's been a while, and they want to see a different method of how a search is done, they can check out what I offer on my channel, because I'm not saying everything that I do is the only way to do it. Different ways of doing it. Have a way that we've learned how to do and continue to practice it and use what works best for us. So it's all to check out other people's style. They learn something, and the only way you're going to is to sign up for continuing ed, professional development. Continue to educate yourself on what it is you're passionate about and what it is you're trying, what your goals are. Pushing for that. That's how you get better at it. Is not just accepting, well, I can do this, so I'll just wait till the phone. You want to wait till the phone rings, you're going to be waiting a while. You want to get proactive, and start in front of the rest of the people, sort of thing. You got to educate yourself, talk to people, get law enforcement agencies, talk to people training this sort of stuff. That's how you keep moving forward. Let's see. Oh, Nick, talk about Josh's boat. I'm not going to, because he's got a cool video that's going to be coming out soon. And I'm in that video, and we're both talking about it. So pay attention to Josh's channel, Josh Can Too. For those of you that don't know, he is also another one of my sidekicks that we do joint ventures with. And he's got an awesome boat that he has just pretty much completed, and he's going to be sharing a video real soon talking about that. So I'm looking forward to seeing it too, because I was involved with some of that filming. Oh, he says have it up today. So stick around. Josh Cantu's boat release video will be out today, and it's pretty cool. So thanks, Josh, for getting that info out. I can't wait. Let's see. Okay, Snowy 152. I'm sure there's got to be some people in the UK. Maybe I need to try UK and meet with some people over there. Let's see. Sorry about the echo. I don't know how to fix it. I'm going to ask my local the training. I grew up in the town of Auburn. Yes, please. I would love to come down that area and train the people on the dive team to improve their skills covering vehicles and not losing into the body of water. So throwing that out there. Thank you, True Crime and Faith. I appreciate it. And all right, so I'm gonna basically end this around 8 o'clock. I've got a busy day ahead of me, as I got to go continue to film my boat. But I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. And again, I'll be in some other YouTubers to go panel to discuss some things, and I'll put a link to those in my community feed on my channel to keep you informed. You're welcome, CC. Thanks for reaching out to me when you saw me in Reno as I was passing through last weekend. It was good talking. Yes, you're welcome, Thomas. Thank you for joining me. I hope everybody on weekend, a safe weekend, and if you can do something cool, help somebody out, help each other out, be safe, and have fun. Because if you ain't having fun, why are you doing it? You need to stick with your passions and don't ever give up on that. That's the key here. Stick with what you're passionate about. Help each other out. Don't forget to check out United Search Corps, Doug Bishop's new venture that he launched yesterday. Josh's video coming out later today. Looking forward to that. Please, if you haven't, like and subscribe my channel. Share it with your friends. Spread the word. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Have fun, and bye-bye.